Today, we're talking about the Truck Series playoff predictions. So, let's get into it. So, the Truck Series is going to be pretty interesting this year. I say it's very unpredictable. So, let's try our best to predict the playoffs. So, first off, I have 5 drivers who I feel like are locks into the playoffs: Corey Heim, Daniel Hemrick, Lane Riggs, Chandler Smith, and Ty Majeski. I feel like those 5 drivers are going to lock themselves into the playoffs pretty easily. So you see the 5 drivers. I think I'll be right on those 5. But the next 5 get a little bit more difficult. I'm going to say Grant Enfinger gets in. He had a pretty good season last year. He won a couple races at the end of the year. Made it to the championship 4, So I'll say Grant Enfinger makes it. At least 4 spots left. Let's say 1 more, then we'll name some guys who won't make the playoffs first. I'm going to say Rajah Caruth is back in the playoffs. So here are the, 7 drivers that I have right now into the playoffs. Now let's list some guys who might not be in the playoffs. I'm going to start with Matt Crafton. He's getting up there in age. I feel like he's just, unless he wins at Daytona, I don't think he's getting into the playoffs. It's unfortunate. It's my favorite driver in the Truck Series. But I feel like his days of making the playoffs just might be over. Next, let's say Tanner Gray. I don't think Tanner Gray is making the playoffs either. I feel like the Truck Series is going to be all over the place this year. So I feel like he's going to be left out of the playoffs. Stuart Friesen, I think he's going to be left out of the playoffs. Dawson Cram, out of the playoffs. Ben Rhodes, out of the playoffs. Those are some bold predictions I have. Andres Perez, what's his last name? I don't remember. I'll call him Andres Perez. Forgive me, I do not know his last name, the full version of it, so I apologize. Andres Perez, the 77 truck for Spire Motorsports. Yeah, I don't think he's making the playoffs. Okay, and 1 more. No, let's not say any more eliminated. Let's get back to the guys who are in the playoffs. So we got 3 spots open, and we just listed a bunch of guys who I don't think will make it. So one guy, these next 3 guys I don't think are going to win a race. Everyone else I just mentioned, I think has a pretty good chance of winning at least 1 race and getting into the playoffs. These next 3 drivers I don't think are winning. They're pointing their way in, basically. So that first driver who's going to point themselves in is Tyler Ankrum. He had a phenomenal season last year. Got into the playoffs. I think he's going to back it up. Solid regular season. I don't think he's going to win. He'll for sure probably point his way in, as long as there's not a crazy amount of winners. 2 spots left. I'm going to give 1 of those spots in on points to Connor Mozak. Connor Mozak in the 81 truck for McAnally Hilgeman Racing. Rookie season, I don't think it's going to matter. I think Connor Mozak is going to point his way into the playoffs. So, what is that? That's 3 McAnally Hilgeman Lanigan Racing trucks in the playoffs. And then 2 Front Row Motorsports, 1 Thor Sport, 1 CR7, only 1 Tricon Garage for now. Gio Ruggiero. He hasn't been out or in yet. There's 1 spot left. I think it is going to come down to Caden Honeycutt and Gio Ruggiero. And forgive me if I'm saying his last name wrong. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure on how to pronounce his last name. Ruggiero. So forgive me if I am pronouncing that wrong. So we got Caden Honeycutt and Gio. The 45 truck for Nice. The 17 truck for Tricon Garage. Caden Honeycutt, I believe, will be the last driver into the playoffs for the Truck Series. So that leaves us with 10 drivers. Corey Heim, Daniel Hemrick, Lane Riggs, Chandler Smith, Ty Majeski, Grant Enfinger, Rasha Caruth and Connor Mozak. 10 truck drivers in the playoffs. So now let's get into the actual playoff predictions. So the first 3 races of the playoffs are Darlington, Bristol, and New Hampshire. It's interesting to see the trucks back at New Hampshire. But anyways, Darlington. I think Corey Heim, Daniel Hemrick, someone like that's going to probably win at Darlington. So I'll say Darlington and Bristol. By the 3rd race, Corey Heim is probably locked in. He probably wins one of those races. I'll say Lane Riggs probably wins at Bristol. He's pretty good there. So New Hampshire. Let me list 5 drivers who I think would make it to the next round. Because 8 make it to the second round. So leave us with 3 making it into 2 out. Okay. So the 5 drivers I'll say make it to the second round. Corey Heim, Lane Riggs, Daniel Hemrick, Ty Majeski, and Chandler Smith. I'll say those 5 drivers, kind of like in the beginning. I feel like they're going to go pretty deep in the playoffs. I'll say those 5 locked into the round 2. But New Hampshire is interesting. Probably a lot of these drivers have never raced at New Hampshire. So guys like Daniel Hemrick, Chandler Smith, they're at a bit of an advantage because they've raced here before. So 3 drivers, 5 drivers, 3 spots. Let me list 1 driver that doesn't make it. 1 driver I don't believe will make it into the round of 8 is Caden Honeycutt. I believe these tracks kind of play out pretty bad for him. Darlington, I feel like he's going to struggle there. New Hampshire, he's probably going to struggle. I think it'll come down to that Bristol race, and I don't think he's going to do too good. So I'll say Caden Honeycutt is out. First driver eliminated. Let me list 2 more that make it, so we'll have down like a 1-1 situation. So I'll say Rasha Caruth makes it, and I'll say Grant Enfinger probably makes it. So what that leaves us with Connor Mozak and Tyler Ankrum. Teammates to see who gets into the next round. Connor Mozak, Tyler Ankrum. I gotta give it to Connor Mozak. Tyler Ankrum, he's a good driver. I'll give it to him. He's pretty good. He's talented. Connor Mozak, though, is on another level. And I think he will make it to round 8. So here are the 8 drivers. However I listed, these are the 8 drivers I have making it to round 2 of the Truck Series playoffs. So the round 2, round of 8, we have the Charlotte Roval. I cannot wait for the Truck Series race at the Charlotte Roval. That is going to be hype. I cannot wait for that. Roval, Talladega, Martinsville. Future Mason here. I just saw right here. Am I still messing up? I can't talk ever. Anyways, Front Row Motorsports, Truck Series. The numbers have been revealed for the drivers. So in the video, if you see me talking about Chandler Smith in the 34 or whatever, I didn't know the news. It just happened, so back to the video. Roval, Dega, Martinsville. Let me list 1 driver who makes it to championship 4. Corey Heim. Corey Heim, I feel like it's almost a lock at this point, even before the season starts. He's going to make the playoffs. He's probably going to make it to the championship 4. Corey Heim, I'm sure, will be in the championship 4. Dega and the Roval are 2 wild card races. So pretty much Martinsville will be the big race that everyone is trying to win. Because who knows what's going to happen at the Roval and Dega. So I'm going to say 1 driver that's eliminated, Grant Enfinger. Now, I know Grant Enfinger last year won at Talladega. He won at Homestead 2, which is not in the championship, which is not in the playoffs this year. He won at those 2 tracks last year. Come on, it's Talladega that he won at. Most of the time, you luck your way into winning. It's not oh yeah, I'm so skilled, I know how to win at Talladega. It's pretty much luck. So Grant Enfinger to go back-to-back at Talladega would be very difficult and almost impossible. So I would say Enfinger probably won't do good at the Roval. Probably not at Martinsville either, so I'm gonna say Enfinger. Tracks it's unfortunate. It's just a bad matchup, a bad set of tracks for him in this round. Grant Enfinger's out. Another driver that's out, Connor Mozak. I feel like he's gonna get caught up in the big one, or he's gonna struggle at the Roval. One of those two things will happen. Put him so far below the cut line, he's not gonna be able to make it all up in one race at Martinsville. So Connor Mosack is out. Let's list another guy who gets in. Let's say Lane Riggs. Lane Riggs is going to make it to the championship 4. He, last season, until the playoffs started, which he missed out on, he was a hit or miss. I was like, probably just another bust. He doesn't look too special or nothing. After the season ended, that was a whole different story. Lane Riggs, I believe, will have a great season this year, and he'll make it all the way to the championship 4. So, 2 drivers make it in, 2 are out. One that I believe will be out is Chandler Smith. Chandler Smith. I'm interested to see how it's gonna go. I don't know what number he's gonna be. I have him as a 34 for Front Row Motorsports because they've driven that truck in the past. Like the 34 is like their number. If you think of Front Row Motorsports, are probably gonna be like 34 car. That number will probably be the first to come to your mind. So I'll just say he's a 34. But anyways, I feel like he's not gonna make it to the championship 4 because of the Roval and Talladega. I just feel like other guys are gonna have more playoff points than him, so he'll fall behind a little bit. And if he doesn't win at Martinsville, he's probably gonna be too far behind. So I'm gonna say Chandler Smith, unfortunately, is out. But I think he'll have a pretty good season. He'll probably grab a couple wins. I hope he makes it to the championship 4, really, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. I'll be rooting for him though, as long as I can speak. My goodness. Let's list another driver that gets into the championship 4. Daniel Hemrick. Daniel Hemrick, I think, is going to have a fantastic season in that McAnally, Helgeman, Lanigan Racing truck. I believe he could possibly be up there with Corey Heim for most wins in the season. But I think Hemrick, championship 4, it's probably about like a 90% chance it'll happen as long as he doesn't get caught up in the big one at Talladega. Other than that, I think he has a pretty good chance of making it. So we're down 3 drivers, 1 spot for the championship 4. Let's see here. I have like all the drivers right down here, so I wouldn't forget. That's why I'm looking to the side, if you're wondering. So let's see. We have Corey Heim, Tyler, Daniel Hemrick, and Lane Riggs. So we have Rajah Caruth and Ty Majeski. Are those the 2 guys? I think so. Yeah, because you already listed 3 guys. So yeah, 3 guys, 1 spot. Or it's 2 guys, 1 spot. Sorry, I was confusing myself. 2 guys, 1 spot. Can I speak right? That is a impossible feat, I guess. Ty Majeski, Rajah Caruth. I just don't think Rajah has enough to make it. Give me Ty Majeski into the championship 4. I think he's gonna do good enough at Martinsville to make it in. So Rajah, let's talk about Rajah. I feel like this is more about Rajah missing out than Ty Majeski getting in. Rajah Caruth, he was pretty good at Vegas. Yeah, I kind of dominated the second half of that race. Excuse me, my goodness. But Rajah, I just think he's hit or miss. He's either gonna be running up in the top 5, or he's gonna be 20th and wrecking or something. I just feel like it's gonna come down to who has the most playoff points, who was more consistent. I'm gonna take Ty Majeski at being more consistent than Rajah Caruth. So the final 4: Corey Heim, Tyler. Why do I keep saying Tyler when I try to say Daniel Hemrick? I could say Tyler Majeski, but it's Ty Majeski. Corey Heim, Daniel Hemrick, Lane Riggs, Ty Majeski. Can I speak right? So who makes it to the promised land, to the championship? Not the championship 4, but who wins the championship? I'll start with 4th, and then we'll make our way up to the champion. 4th. I'm going to say Lane Riggs gets 4th. I feel like he's going to be around 10th, which doesn't sound too bad. Oh, he finishes around 10th. You got 3 other drivers ahead of you, though. Lane Riggs, he's good. I I just feel like those other three are gonna perform a little bit better in the championship 4. I really have nothing bad about to say. I'm confusing myself again. I have nothing bad to say about Lindrigs. There. I just don't think he's gonna win the championship, and I think he'll finish around 10th. I think the 3 other guys will finish ahead of him. Next guy. I'm gonna say Daniel Hemrick finishes 3rd. I just don't think he's gonna win the championship, but I think he's gonna make it to the championship 4, basically. I just feel like Corey Heim and Ty Majeski, they're up here, and Daniel Hemrick's like right here. I think he's just slightly below them. So we got Corey Heim and Ty Majeski. This is the year of Corey Heim. 2022, 2023, probably should have won both of those championships, but this is, I'm off by year. 2023, 2024, he should have won the championship those years. Dang, time just goes by so quick, man. I said 22, 23, I thought it was 2024 for a second. Corey Heim, this is the year Heim Time wins the championship. I'll have the list right here of the order I think they'll all finish. But yeah, those are my Truck Series playoff predictions. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I think it's like 15 minutes, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll probably try to react to this video once the playoffs start for all the 3 series. This is just the first of 3 videos I'm making of my playoff predictions. So you better make sure you're watching all 3 so you're not left in the dark and don't know what's going on. But anyways, Corey Heim is my 2025 Truck Series champion. That is my prediction. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. And I guess that's it. Have a good one.